Hello, beautiful souls. This is Sarah Ariana, and this video is on dietary changes as we move through our ascension and our awakening process. I felt guided to make this video. I was feeling really good in my body for the past couple of months, dietary wise. And just last night, I made a coleslaw with beautiful organic vegetables, and then I was in severe pain, and once again, my body had shifted and is no longer allowing me to have one of the ingredients that was in there, which was cabbage. So I felt very guided to make this video to help some of you that may be going through this process of our changes in our diet, what we're eating, what we're drinking, as the light frequency changes and rises on our planet. This video is not intended to tell you what to eat or drink in any way or form. This is guidance on what is happening to our bodies and what our bodies are communicating to us. This is a guideline and offering to those that may need help at this time. So only take what resonates with you and leave the rest. So let's go back to social paradigms. When we're in society, and especially the 3D realm, it's very much so to have a drink alcohol when we're at parties, when we're with friends, have that wonderful glass of wine, let's get out the beer, let's make the martini, all of that, because some may feel that it gives you a bit of courage being in groups, being around others and speaking. You may feel that it lessens anxiety. You may also just generally like the taste of alcohol, and socially it feels it's more acceptable, especially in the 3D realm, to drink alcohol, to have that good time, to lift the spirits, to have more fun. And it's also to have that feeling, right, of being buzzed, of not wanting to be in control, maybe losing control, maybe leaving the reality for a bit, leaving the problems at the door. What's shifting as we move into the 5D realm is that alcohol for many will not be needed as it's affecting the actual physical vessel. So for some of you, you may not be drinking alcohol at all. You may have gone through the ascension process, going through it, and just realize it's not working for your body anymore. For some that still continue to enjoy the alcohol, love that glass of beer, the glass of wine, whichever your beverage may be. And noticing now, if you're drinking alcohol at this time, on how your body feels. I have been noticing someone close in my life that beer no longer works for them. They don't feel good. They feel bloated. And even with other types of alcohol, they're noticing a reaction in their body now as the energy rises. And they've taken a step. Now, this has taken a while because in social atmospheres, they felt peer pressured and they felt pressured drinking when someone else was drinking. But what's happened is just observing other people around me that they no longer care anymore about that social aspect because it's more important to feel better inside of their bodies. So I was quite shocked the other day when this person actually said, no, I don't drink that anymore. And I almost just fell out of my chair because I'm like, oh my gosh, like this person said this because they were honoring on how their body was feeling. And as we continue to be in this 4D realm and create our 5D reality, it will be less and less as we move forward if you decide not to drink alcohol, or people were like, oh, is something wrong with you if you're not drinking alcohol, or do you have an addiction, or any of those kind of thoughts come forward. It'll be honoring the person for those choices, and there won't be so much peer pressure as we move forward. And now this is also going to be happening with meat. So for some, you may be vegan, you may be vegetarian, you may be eating a Mediterranean diet, you may be loving the red meat, chicken, fish, whatever it may be. But you're going to be noticing as we continue to elevate in energy, in frequency, in light, there are going to be foods that will no longer resonate with the body that you're in. Now, this is going to be different for every single one of us because we're in different bodies. Yes, we're all human. but we are in different physical vessels. So for some of you, you may feel that, okay, first it's red meat. It just doesn't agree with me. I'm getting a reaction, or I'm getting really flushed, or it takes a long time for my body to process this through my body, eliminating it. And you may also feel that, I actually need meat at this time. I've gone vegan or I've tried vegetarian and it didn't work for me because I felt so weak or I felt so tired and exhausted. So then looking at and becoming aware of how the animal is treated. So as we rise in light and elevation and frequency and energy, there is an awareness that comes in and honoring the animal. And this is going to be happening at like a waves over the whole entire planet, of looking at it as some of us may be needing meat, and then looking at how the animal is treated. Did that animal have a good life? And slowly the companies that are mistreating animals will be coming to a close. And slowly these shifts and these waves of honoring animals, of honoring what we're eating and consuming, and what the actual ingredients are that are coming into our bodies, all of this awareness is going to be moving across the planet. So paying attention to the type of meat that you're eating, and if you're eating the type of meat, the awareness will come forward on where that is coming from and how the animals are being treated, if they were honored, if they were respected, and looking for those sources. You may also be going through a sugar phase, where you're becoming aware of the sugar that you're consuming. There is so much sugar in everything. When you start to look into it, you're just kind of gobsmacked a bit. You're like, oh my gosh, it's in HP sauce, it's in ketchup, it's in desserts, and it's in every kind of dressing. It's everywhere. And when you start to really look at the sugar consumption that the majority of humans are putting into their bodies, this is when change can happen. And it's only if you want to. But it's, again, when the light is rising at such a rapid pace here on Earth, you really will start to take a look at it, because as you emotionally and mentally work on the body, and we're all releasing layers right now in the Scorpio season, and whenever you're listening to this is a timeless video, but whenever you're releasing all of that emotionally and mentally, physically, it's also going to have an effect on your body. And so you're going to be taking a look at the foods that you consume. These sugary sweets, yes, theirs can be so good and delicious, but there's other ways that you can also enjoy sweets. Now, this is going back to, you may feel that you want to just eliminate sugar altogether and eat natural sugars, dates, fruits. You may want to eliminate dairy, such as whipped cream or milk, and start bringing in nut milks or oat milk. There may be that you want to have whipped cream on your dessert, but you're going to try, I'm going to try coconut milk this time, make a coconut cream. There's so many other options. There's no right or wrong for any way. It's observing what's right for your body. What is your body communicating with you? And when you eat something, notice how your body processes the food, and notice how your body reacts to the food. And this is going to be an ever-changing wave that we're on as we move in Ascension and through Ascension. Also, what's coming up here is coffee. Coffee is extremely addictive. And I love the smell of coffee. It's such a wonderful smell. But I realized early on, after having my children, that I felt I needed it. I was waking up, 3-4 times in the middle of the night when they were little, and I needed that just to get me through my day. And slowly I noticed, just with me being so highly sensitive, that I would be getting jittery. Even just after a cup, I would have a reaction to the caffeine. And this is not to tell anyone to drink caffeine or not to drink caffeine. This is just me sharing my experience with you to maybe help you with yours as well. As we continue to move into the light, we're going to notice that caffeine, it's the same as alcohol, the same as some of the heavier foods, are going to have an effect on our body. And as you notice this, it may be a coffee addiction, you may notice that You no longer want this to rule your life. You may not want to get the headaches if you miss that cup of coffee. You may not want to experience the jittery or the heart palpitations or maybe whatever reaction you're getting from that coffee. And you may decide, I'm just going to see how it goes. For a 6-month period, I'm going to slowly reduce the coffee grounds. I'm going to maybe start to bring in coffee and part decaf. You may want to go cold turkey. And then it is a very intense 2 to 3 weeks of hell trying to get off the caffeine, just saying it like it is. And then you're kind of more clear-headed. It's a process you go through. It's not an easy one, but I can say through my own experience of getting off of caffeine, it is really wonderful to not be addicted and to feel so good in my body without that. And this is no judgment on anyone that drinks coffee, because I love the smell of coffee, and I remember that I did need it at that time, or I felt I did. And this just may be coming up as we move into the light, that you become aware of what we're reliant on and how you don't want to be anymore. So tools, what are some tools that can help us as we move through these dietary changes? What works for us? What doesn't work for us? And this is continual, right? We continually change and move into our light bodies. So it's not like one diet is just going to work and one type of food, and then that's going to be all the way it is till we leave our physical vessel. It continually changes. And this is positive. This is not a negative. So through my experiences over the past, I would say probably over the past 20 to 30 years, I've looked into many different aspects of healing and remedies, what works. And this is what I can recommend, is that through ancient Chinese medicine, and I've talked about this in another video, is that they have the elements, and it's related with the seasons, related with the organs, and also related with certain foods in the season that will work for you. So I do recommend going to an acupuncturist and researching the acupuncturist you're going to go to, because they'll tell you what element you are. You can also find this online and do a quiz, find out what works for you. But there's nothing like an acupuncturist taking your pulse, taking the moment and the time to actually tell you exactly what element you are. So I also recommend, if you do decide to go to an acupuncturist, researching your acupuncturist, because what works really well, especially if there is a little bit of fear of needles there, is on how they prep the body. And this will really help you with your appointment. And what I mean by that is I'm very fortunate to have a wonderful acupuncturist here on Vancouver Island. And she's been practicing for so many years and has an incredible clientele because she is so fantastic. But what she does is she preps the body. So immediately she's warming the body by putting hot packs on it. And then there's a massage. And so you're feeling relaxed. Then she tunes in and listens to you what you need. And there are acupuncturists that are amazing that you may not need to prep the body. It depends on your sensitivity. It depends on how you feel. So acupuncture is a beautiful way and to help the body, but it's also through knowing your element and the foods that work for your element, for the season you're in, that will help with the dietary changes. So that is one aspect, is with ancient Chinese medicine, finding out your element, finding out the seasons and the foods that work for your body. Now, another tool that may work for you is Ayurveda. Now, Ayurveda, it's a natural system of medicine, originated in India over 3,000 years ago. And Ayurveda, it's a Sanskrit term translates into knowledge of life. So it balances the internal and external worlds. And in Ayurveda, every person is unique and with a makeup of different doshas. Dosha in Sanskrit is that which can cause problems. So it's basically like a fault or defect. Now in Ayurveda, there are 3 types of doshas. And this is Vata, which is space and ether, Pitta, which is fire and water, and Kapha, which is water and earth. Now, finding out what dosha you are will really help with your dietary changes and with the incredible light that we're now receiving on earth. In your area, you may have an Ayurvedic practitioner that can help you. And there also are quizzes online as well. But I do recommend seeing someone that is practicing Ayurveda and that can help you find out what works for you with the dosha that you have and balancing your dosha. The other tool that may help is eating for your blood type. So finding out what type of blood you have, if it's A, B, AB, O, B negative. And then there are so many great books out there. So doing the research and taking a look and matching your blood type to what is recommended to eat for your blood type. And then taking a look at all of that. Once you found out your element within Chinese medicine, once you found out your dosha, once you found out your blood type, and taking a look at all of that knowledge and taking a look at all the food that is recommended, also the season that you're in, and also then using your intuition. So when we set up a daily practice, and really this is a practice, it's every single day, tuning in, sitting in silence, and sitting in stillness. And when this occurs, naturally your intuition comes forward because you're taking the time and you're practicing this. And naturally your body will communicate with you what it is needing, what it needs to get rid of, what it maybe needs to be added. And there's going to be many signs and symbols that come forward. So definitely recommending it's that daily practice of meditation, of stillness and silence. Also, as the energy continues to rise, it's increasing the water. It's having that consistency of water. You may be wanting to now drink warm water in the morning as soon as your body awakens, and having that throughout the day. The energy that's moving in is such a high frequency, and it's so beautiful with all the help that we're receiving right now. And with all of this energy that is moving through all of us, especially with these solar flares, the high solar wind, these storms, these geomagnetic storms that are coming through, it does affect the body, and it really helps your energy when you are maintaining that water intake. And as we continue to move forward into this reality that we're creating from the 4D into the 5D, you just moving into observation and seeing how your body is feeling, seeing what natural foods, whole foods are helping your body, and really looking at those ingredients and seeing what is in the food that you are consuming, how the animals were treated on the living space that they're in. All of that needs to be considered now as we move forward into the energy to really help the body that you're in. Thank you all so much for being here. Blessings of love and light to all. Namaste.